Hi, and welcome to day 5. We're here in Nauvoo at the Joseph Smith's old homes. And we'll be taking a look at some of his homes that he had here in the Nauvoo house. And we'll be learning a new hymn, Praise to the Man. But before we begin, let's go back to the studio and let's review some of the things that we've learned from the previous days. Okay, today we're going to learn about the wacky world of chords. And why do I call it wacky? It's because sometimes they can get a little confusing and you don't know which one to use and when and how. But it's very easy, and today we're going to learn a new type of a chord. But let's first review the chords that we have known. We have the C chord, very easy. And if we lift up our hand and come down to the root position of a G chord, and an F chord, hey, very simple. Also in the key of G, we had the G, and then we have a D sharp chord, and also a C. So it's those four basic ones, a G and a C, a D, and an F. Very, very easy. Now, these are called major chords. And that's because they all basically have the same number of notes in between the first note, the middle note, and the top note. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And here it's 1, 2, 3. If you look at a G, it's the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And the F. So it makes it very easy in that respect. Now we're going to do a different one. We're going to take the G chord, the C chord, and move the middle note down, what we call a half step. That is called a minor chord. Do you hear how it's minor? I mean, it doesn't sound happy. It sounds sad or not quite right. So there's a C minor chord. Here's a G and a G minor chord. Here's a D and a D minor chord. Now, usually in the hymns, there are only two minor chords that we'll play. One is the D minor, and one is the A minor. Notice that's an A major, A minor chord. There's no black notes in it. D minor, no black notes in it. And the way they represent when you play a D or D major chord is that they'll have a D and a small little M next to it, standing for minor. So when you see a D minor or an A minor, that's what we play on that. And it's not too hard, but some of the songs you need to find out when is it that you play the A minor or the A major chord. Today we're going to learn Abide With Me, hymn number 166. It's played reverently. Let's look at it first and see those unusual items in it to see if we need to circle it. Some things. First of all, notice in the first line, there's an A minor chord. That's the new one that we learned. Here's A major, A minor. We're going to be doing that one. And then notice on the last line on the first page, there's an F sharp. We'll be playing it. Now this second page, there's also an A minor that's just like the beginning. A minor here. And then we'll go on. Now notice we have a D minor chord. So here's a D minor, here's an A minor. Those are our two new notes or chords that we're going to be using. So let's start at the beginning and do the first phrase. Third finger up to our fourth finger, fifth finger. That makes it easy coming down. So now let's add the chords. It's a C, G, A minor, F, and C. So we have. Now to our A minor, to our F, to our C. Now we're still on our second finger. F, C, now down to our G. Now we can do a D, but rather than jumping up all the way up to D, we could just do our easy D and our G. So it's, now we're just like the beginning. A minor. Now D minor. Do you hear how that sound is different? A little sadder. Now to our G. To A minor. C. G. And C. Good luck with that one. Okay, let's learn our new hymn for today. It's hymn number 27, Praise to the Man. As we begin this thing, get out your red pencil and let's mark a couple of things to make this as easy as possible. First of all, notice that it is in the key of C because it has no sharp up there on the F sharp. So we'll be playing the three basic chords, C, F, and G. So it really should be quite easy. Over on this page, we also have a fermata. So remember the fermata is to pause on a little bit when you come to that. And we'll be using a dotted 8th and a 16th note. This is the rhythm that goes bum, 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 bum. So if we count that first measure, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. So let's play it on the piano here. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that bum, 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 bum. Try to get that feel. You don't necessarily need to count out loud, but if you can feel that in there, and the congregation will be singing it too, you can get that rhythm. Now this is a very vigorous song. So we play it with vigor, but when you're first learning it, let's learn it very slowly so you get your fingers right. Now you can either play it with just one finger or all your fingers. I'm going to play with all my fingers. It's a little easier for me to do it that way. So at the very beginning, here we go. Now on that third measure, we haven't played this note too much. This is E. This is in the top space on there. Remember that the spaces are F-A-C-E, which spells the word face. So F-A-C-E. So that top note is E, and then the next one is D. So it's E-D-C. So let's go back. Now we have those two lines. Now we're going to repeat them basically, so it's going to be very easy. If you learn the first two lines, you've got the next two lines. Just a little different there in that last measure or so. Now the next page, starting with C. That's where the fermata comes in. So we're going to hold it. We're going to pause up there and then continue on. And now just like the beginning. Okay, now let's look at the left hand. Remember we talked about that you can play chords in different fashions. In this one we're going to have C, F, and G. So we could do it just a C, F, and G. That's the simplest way possible. Or we can do it like we learned last week. We can do the C chord, the G chord, the F chord, or the C chord. Or our new way is by doing it with the root position. So we have C, F, and G. So C, F, G. That way you just keep your hand the same in there. So let's try that, keeping them in the root position. Now let's try it in the way we learned last week. You might find that a little easier because your hand just stays right there and you don't have to look, to place your hand in there. So go practice that one. Practice the right hand alone 5 times, your left hand alone 5 times, together 5 times. Very, very slow. Get the notes down. Sing with it. Get that rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. The dotted note followed by the 16th. And then come on back. Now one thing you'll learn, there's no right, there's no wrong with fingering. Whatever feels comfortable. So try your fingering, say, oh, does this feel good? Does it not feel good? If it doesn't, then take your eraser, erase it, put in the fingering that does good. But the important thing is to practice the same fingering over and over and over so that you have muscle memory. So your mind can take over on your hands and go, oh yeah, this is right where the fingering is supposed to go. So this song is a little harder because when you get it up to speed, it's praise to the man who communes with Jehovah. So you can see that speed is like that. And then maybe your fingers can't go that fast. So if you're playing it for the congregation, remember, you can just play the chord. Don't, play it every time it's supposed to be played, and then fill in the notes that you need to. Well, let's take a look around Nauvoo here a little bit, where Joseph stayed. And we'll see his Nauvoo house, his white mansion, and his log cabin. And then we'll see you tomorrow.